Hey everyone, and welcome to my middle grades I am scared to reread video. It's middle grade magic, so as always I'm making a middle grade based video, and today I'm going to be talking about the middle grades that I'm scared to reread because I loved them when I was a child. And now I don't know if I'm going to like them again as an adult, because I've had this a couple of times where it's just gone wrong in terms of reading Matilda and then also The Secret of Platform 13. I really liked those as a kid, and now I really don't. Whereas with Skullduggery Pleasant, I really loved that one as a kid, really love it now. So it's kind of like, this could go either way with these books, and I'm scared, but I still have them on my shelves. And I may reread them at some point, but I'm kind of scared too. So let's just get started. First ones I have is 2 Doctor Who books, and this is going to represent basically my entire Doctor Who collection, because there was like 4 or 5 that I read repeatedly as a kid and then didn't read the rest of them. I have an entire box set of Doctor Who paperbacks, including 9 and 10 stories, and I've never got them out of the box because I haven't read them. I read the hardback ones, these ones specifically, The Last Dodo, and also The Doctor Trap, and then also there was a Zygon one and one with the Doctor and the Rose were on some sort of planet and the Doctor thought Rose was dead for a bit, things like this. But essentially it was all these Doctor Who books. I absolutely loved them as a kid. I reread them over and over and over again. I literally have bookmarks in these 2 specific ones marking out some of my favourite bits. When I say bookmarks, I mean an old 3 for 2 Waterstone sticker and a bit of a shopping list, because I used to just pick up these books and reread my favourite section and then put it back down again, because I was that kind of reader as a kid. I was chaotic, and I just haven't reread these, and I'm scared to, because I don't know if I'm going to like them as much. I don't know. I'm very worried, but I really want to reread them. Probably going to end up doing a Doctor Who reading vlog around the time the 60th anniversary comes out, or when Ncuti Gatwa takes over. I don't know. Let me know if you want that. But yeah, I'm scared to reread these. I'm so scared because I loved them so much as a kid. I don't know if I'm going to like them as much now. And I mean, I probably will. But it's Matilda and The Secret of Platform 13 are haunting me with how much I didn't like them, like as an adult. So I'm scared to ruin my childhood. I'm scared. I'm going to read these at some point, just not right now. I'm scared. But I really like these. I really loved these as a kid. There is also Emily the Strange. I loved this brand when I was a kid. My Wednesday Addams goth heart loved Emily the Strange. And this one is about a 13-year-old Emily. And she is like really clever, all the rest of it. And she can't remember who she is, if I remember rightly, in this one. And it's sort of like a diary trying to figure out who she is, and there's like a lot of illustrations throughout it and like notes and things like this. And I really liked this as a kid. And now I'm like, am I gonna like this now? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm very scared to find out. We then also have the Fire and Ice series. This one was about 2 magical detectives, or a magical detective, and then she ends up having to try and save like the princess of the world, and then she ends up meeting a telepath who's also got ice power, and they end up like having to try and sort of work together kind of thing. And I love this book. I carried the library version of this book in my book bag at school for like 2 years. Literally, it was like 2 years I was carrying it around for no reason further than the fact that I really loved this book and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't finish the sequel. I have no idea why I didn't finish the sequel, but now I kind of want to reread it again just to see why I loved it so much, and maybe why I didn't like the sequel so much. I don't know, because I did start the sequel, I just never finished it. But now I really want to read this again because I'm kind of in the mood for urban fantasy at the moment, but I don't know. There is also Larklight by Philip Reeve, and I read or tried to read his other series recently about the moving cities that I've forgotten the name of entirely, but it was like the moving city ones, and DNF'd it because I really didn't like it. I like the film, but that's just because Robert Sheehan was in it and Hugo Weaving, and I generally like anything with Robert Sheehan or Hugo Weaving in, funnily enough. You can't go wrong with Robert Sheehan in my mind. But I did not like the book. It was too young for me, it was too simplistic, didn't like it, and I'm scared that this is going to be the case with Larklight. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is a battered, well-read book, because I read this about 8 times in a row, as in I finished the book and then just started it all over again. I didn't read the sequel. I don't even own the sequel. But I loved this so much that I just read it over and over and over and over and over again, hence why this is so battered. But now I'm scared to reread it because I didn't like his other series and it was too young for me, and I really don't want to read something that's too young for me because it will spoil the memory of how much I loved this in the first place. So I really want to reread this one because I could practically quote it as a kid, but now I'm worried. But I do want to give it a go at some point. Because this was such a fun one about like a ship in space and these kids and they're trying to save the universe. I can't remember much else about it, but which is ironic because I read it so many times, but I did love this so much, and now I'm scared I'm too old for it. Really scared I'm too old for it. And then finally we have Nurse Matilda. This is the original trilogy that the Nanny McPhee movie was based on, hence the movie cover, because that's where I got interested in it, because I watched the Nanny McPhee movie as a kid, loved it, still love it to this day, and I wanted to read the original books, and this is a bind-up of the original books, which was originally published in 1967. So it's quite old at this point, and this was a really fun series, obviously about like a Nanny McPhee who comes in with to this giant family, and all the kids are really naughty and things like this, and she's sort of like Mary Poppins them essentially, but the kids are a lot more naughty in this one, I guess. And I have the fondest memories of reading this book, and in every single book there was like a section where we'd get like a list of all of the kids and everything they were doing, and I used to write out all of those kids' names and count them all up, because in every single book there was more kids turning up essentially, and it'd be like, oh yeah, they have more kids, or they adopted more kids, or something like this, because we're following the Brown family the whole way through. And I loved this as a kid. I had so many fond memories of reading this, but I now think I'm too old for it. And by too old for it, I mean I can understand that it was well written and all the rest of it, but now my adult logic brain starts like turning up, but like it did when I read Matilda, where I was sitting there going, adoption laws don't work like that, and things like this, and that's how my brain works. As I'm sitting there going, she can't have another kid, she's already had like 36 at this point, she can't have another one. Like, it's physically not impossible, but it's not exactly easy by this point, and the timeline doesn't work out, and things like this, and it's my logic brain would get in the way, essentially. My adult logic brain would get in the way, and I would not enjoy it as much, and it would take out all of the magic. That's what I mean when I say my adult brain would get in the way of all of these books. But I still really want to read this one. I really want to read this one. It sounds like so much fun. I just don't want it ruined for me by my adult logic brain, essentially. I mean, I can still watch the film. I still love the film. I can apparently escape in the film, but I can't with the book. I don't know. I do want to read it though. I definitely want to give it another go. I don't want my adult logic brain getting in the way. And essentially that's just the message of this video. My adult logic brain gets in the way of everything. Because I mean, I have reread childhood favourites and enjoyed them, because I reread Skullduggery over the last couple of years and really loved those. And I've read other children's books that are definitely too young for me, or are on the edge of that, and I still really love them. Because, I mean, Artemis Fowl is probably too young for me. Amari and the Night Brothers is technically too young for me. And my logic brain does sometimes get in the way. But then I still really enjoyed them. And then sometimes my logic brain just abandons me anyway. And I can enjoy it anyway. So it's like, that could probably happen with these books. Especially the Doctor Who ones. Because obviously that's Doctor Who. It's in an established world. I know the rules of Doctor Who. I was obsessed with Doctor Who as a kid. Essentially, the whole meaning of this video is these books, I don't want my logic brain to get in the way. That's what I'm getting at. Logic brain is probably going to get in the way, and I don't want it to, but it probably will, which sucks. But there's nothing I can do about it. There is nothing I can do about it apart from just bite the bullet and read these and try to ignore my logic brain. But I don't want the childhood magic ruined. I really don't want the childhood magic ruined. But I think that's why I'm going to leave this video here, otherwise I'm going to talk myself out of ever rereading these books in fear that my logic brain is going to get in the way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me which childhood favourite book you really want to reread but you're scared of. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a ship related emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics if you're interested in that, as well as to my Etsy and Redbubble store which sells bookish merch if you want to check that out. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos and see if I do actually reread these and what I think about them, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!